Hello, everyone. This is Lex Cascavage of Rockwell Automation. I am the solution architect for Rockwell in the Philadelphia and New York offices, and I'm here to talk to you about Logix Designer V31 release, which was released at the end of February 2018. Studio 5000 is a suite of design and development tools for building your system. Architect is used to design and build your system framework. The Logix Designer is used to configure and program your system collaboratively among team members. View Designer is used to program the Panel View 5000, which is a highly integrated HMI tied into Logix. Application Code Manager is used for library management, for system reuse, and allows you to quickly build and maintain projects. And Logix Emulate is a tool utilized for virtual design environments as well as operator training systems, allowing you to emulate and simulate your designed system. Since I'm here to talk to you about Studio 5000 Logix Designer V31, understand that Logix Designer is the single programming environment for all Logix controllers. It supports comprehensive design and maintenance of the entire automation control system. And now let's take a look at what's new in V31. V31 has undergone modernization to the design environment to add capability you would expect from a modern programming environment. Focused on delivering automation productivity, ease of use, and simplified workflows, and modernization of the programming language editors. There's also improved workflows for multi-monitors, tab views, and quick navigation. And we also can clearly convey state and identification of errors. So let's take a look at the new modernized user interface of version 31, and specifically the capabilities of tabbed windows. In previous versions of Logix Designer, each time you open up a new window, whether it was a program window, a memory view, a trend, those windows would sit on top of the previous, and it would be very difficult to switch between those different views. Now with tabbed windows, you have increased usability in that each window has its own independent tab that can be selected quickly in your design environment. You can reorder those tabs however you like as well. Once you create these tabs, you can save them as tab groups and create your own custom modern design environment. Also in version 31, we now have multi-monitor support that allows you to pull the tabs off the main frame and put them onto other monitors. As you can see here, we simply drag the tab group over to the second monitor. And with the ability to drag these tabs over onto multiple monitors, you now have the ability to organize the view of your design environment the way that you would like to have it. So one of the visual enhancements to the Logix Designer editing environment is the indication of errors. We now use a standard indication, as you can see here in all the code editors, to highlight where the error exists in the code editor. This standard symbol is used throughout all the editors to call attention specifically to where the error exists, and this allows you to troubleshoot issues with the code much quicker and easier. A new feature in V31 Logix Designer involves the error window. The error window shows errors, warnings, and messages. And we now have the ability to enable filtering on those messages, errors, or warnings. Simply click on the error, the warning, or the message tab at the top of the window, and that will now filter to only display the specific messages, errors, or warnings in the window. So one of the code editors that saw the greatest amount of improvements is the structured text editor. As you can see here, we've added line numbers and bookmarks, descriptive tooltips, multi-line select and mouse scrolling, change and verify bars, collapsible code segments, inline value monitoring, code snippets, and smart indent capabilities, and other benefits. So let's talk about some of the specifics of those new capabilities. So one of the neat enhancements to V31 is the ability to implement code snippets inside structured text. So code snippets are predefined templates of code that are centered around constructs in Logix Designer. Code snippets essentially auto-insert predefined syntax that supports commonly used constructs in Logix Designer. Some of those are, as you can see here, are if-then, else-if-then, case of, for do, while do, and repeat until. The first thing you would do is type in the keyword that would begin the entire code construct. At that point, you would press the Tab key, which would then lay out the entire code construct and would include placeholders for the values that needed to be filled in. You can hover over those values to give you more information about what would specifically go into those placeholders to fill out the entire code snippet. This allows a more productive, structured text design experience for the user. Let's take a look at some of the editor improvements for the function block code editor. These improvements really focus around increased usability for the user. First off, the default sheet size, which was originally 8.5 by 11 portrait view, has been changed to an 11 by 17 landscape view. This allows the user to take advantage of a widescreen monitor format from a default view perspective. You also now have the ability to change this sheet size while online with the controller. Another ability that has been added in the function block editor is the ability to directly force IO tags from the context menu for the tags. And you now also have the ability to directly change values of operands on the function block screen. You no longer have to go into the tag monitor to make changes, so that process has been simplified significantly. So one of the more significant enhancements to V31 Logix Designer are some new safety and motion instructions focused on expanding safety and kinematics support. So let's step forward and take a look at some of those new capabilities. With V31, we have added these drive safety instructions specifically for the Kinetix 5700 servo product. There have been 8 added, as you can see here, from safe feedback scaling, safe stop 1 and 2, safe operating stop, limited speed and limited position, safe direction, and safe brake control. These 8 instructions now allow you to programmatically implement these safety features in the controller with the Kinetix 5700 and have a fully safe system without extra hardware. As you can see here also, these instructions are only supported in the ControlLogix 5580 and CompactLogix 5380 processors. So with version 31, we have added new kinematics instructions, 3 of them. The first being motion coordinated transform with orientation. The next is motion calculate transform position with orientation. And finally, motion coordinated path move. These allow us to increase our capability with coordinated motion control, specifically extending our capabilities into Delta robots. As you can see as well, these instructions require ControlLogix 5580 and 5380 controllers. Now let's talk about our new alarming capabilities released with version 31 of Logix Designer. Previous to version 31, there were only 2 kinds of alarms within FactoryTalk Alarms and Events. Server-based alarms were created and managed in FactoryTalk View. Logix-based alarms were created and managed in the Logix Designer environment with 2 specific instructions: ALMA for analog alarms and ALMD for digital alarms. Those instructions would be added specific to the program code to implement Logix-based alarms in your Logix engine. Alarm timestamping, acknowledgement, resetting, as well as the entire alarm message would then be managed inside the Logix engine. With version 31, we've added a new method to manage alarms in the controller with much simpler configuration on the tags themselves versus the program solution with those 2 instructions. This means that you're no longer adding those instructions to the code, so there's no additional programming required, and there's a new alarm manager that gives you a single place to configure all those alarms inside the Logix design environment. This new Logix tag-based alarms capability is only supported in the newer 5580, 5380, and 5480 platforms. Let's take a look on the next couple of slides in how you would implement Logix tag-based alarms. So how do tag-based alarms work inside Logix? What you will actually do is add the alarm structure to any existing tag. So how do you do that? Simply right-click on a tag and it'll pull up a context menu. Simply select Add Alarm from that menu. That will pull up the new alarm configuration screen. At that point, go through and configure whatever aspects of the new alarm that you would like to implement, from high to rate of change, low, whatever parameter is necessary for that specific point from an alarm perspective. When you're done with the configuration parameters, simply click on OK, and at that point, the alarm structure is created. If you go over to the new alarm manager, you will now see the alarm structure in the alarm manager and that it is active in the controller. But what if you had a UDT or AOI that had a structure that was utilized in many tags? So what you could also do is add that alarm structure to that UDT or AOI, and then at that point, that new alarm structure would be proliferated throughout all the tags in the system that utilize that UDT and AOI. So how do you do that? Again, simply right-click on the AOI or UDT structure, select Add Alarm Definition from the context menu, and again, the alarm definition screen will pop up. Configure the parameters for the structure that you're now adding this alarm definition to, and when you're done, select OK. Again, when you complete that step, you will see the new alarm definition inside the alarm manager and that it is active inside the controller. As you can see here on this screen of the alarm manager, we've added the alarm structure to a structure of tags. You can see the example 1, 2, and 3 specific tags that utilize that structure. And so now they all have the new alarm structure within them, and this structure is proliferated with default values for the alarms. But the alarm structure does exist for all the tags that were created with that structure that the alarm was added to. So now let's take a look at some of the new content protection capabilities that have been added to Studio 5000 Logix Designer. So security has been important to Logix Designer from its early days, including when it was previously known as RS Logix 5000. Studio 5000 Logix Designer has several options for security and content protection. Password protection was actually an original feature implemented in version 8 of Logix. FactoryTalk Security was implemented in version 20 and has continued to be developed and evolved. Version 28 enhanced FactoryTalk Security by strengthening content protection capabilities with guest access and granular AOI and routine permissions. License-based protection is the newest intellectual property protection capability within Logix Designer. It enables source and execution protection capabilities. So let's take a look at license source and execution protection from the perspective of a use case. Many customers want the most secure protection possible for their intellectual property. Many users have concerns over external as well as internal theft of their intellectual property. Solution: license source protection. And what does this require? Well, it requires an activated secure device and a subscription to the licensing portal. This is ideal for OEMs or machine builders who have highly sensitive intellectual property on their machines being delivered to end users. It's also ideal for end users in heavily regulated industries where theft or modification of content is a serious concern. License-based source protection encrypts users' content and controls who can interact with it. It is enforced with a license on a secure device, a USB stick, in the user's PC. The license-based execution protection capability prevents code from running on unauthorized controllers. This is enforced with a license on a secure device, a secure digital card that is specifically put into the controller. Without this secure digital card, the controller will not execute the program that is loaded in it. Now let's take a look at the new high-performance controllers that are available with V31 Logix Designer. New controllers supported in V31 include new GuardLogix and compact GuardLogix controllers now. Here we see the newly available GuardLogix 5580 safety controller. This is based on the L8 high-performance CPU. It is now also available in a scalable format. What does that mean? I can now purchase a single slot 5580 safety controller that will be SIL 2 capable. To implement SIL 3, I would add the safety partner onto the side of the 5580 safety controller. As with all of the L8 based controllers, there's a 1 gigabit embedded Ethernet port on the front of the controller. And as you can see here, it is available in 4 sizes, from the L81 all the way up to an L84. In May 2018, we will also release the compact GuardLogix 5380 high-performance safety controller. This processor, based on the compact Logix L8, will also support dual 1 gigabit embedded Ethernet ports that will be able to be implemented as separate IP addresses or implemented in a device-level ring format. This first release of the compact GuardLogix will support SIL Level 2 safety control systems. As you can see here, the compact GuardLogix 5380 will be available in all ranges of the compact Logix 5380, from the L306 600 kilobyte model all the way up to the L3100 10 megabyte model. What you can also see here is that in the backplane of the compact GuardLogix is new 5069 Safety IO. This will be the first release Rockwell has had of a controller, a Logix controller with Safety IO connected directly to the controller across the backplane. Look for this 5069 Safety IO to be released sometime soon after May 2018. As we continue to round out the functionality of the ControlLogix 5580 controller, we will be also adding in version 31 the ability to support the analog motion cards that were available in previous versions of Logix controllers. So the 1756 MO2AE, MO2AS, and MO2 HYD cards will now be available and supported in the 5580 controller platform. So also available in version 31 is the ability for the 5580 controller to support our Circos motion cards. So the MO3 SE, MO8 SE, M16 SE, as well as the MO8 SEG Circos motion modules are now available to be added to any 5580 control system. This is only available starting in version 31. So this concludes my overview of Logix Designer version 31. You should be aware that at the February release of version 31, only a limited number of controllers actually have version 31 firmware available. Those controllers are the ControlLogix 5580 as well as the GuardLogix 5580S controllers. The remaining controllers in the Logix family, whether L7 based or L8 based, will get their firmware in the May timeframe of 2018. Also be aware that Automation Fair this year will be held in Philadelphia in November. I hope to see you there. Thank you and have a nice day.